welcome. It has been a while. We have been off. We've been, recuperating. We ready to go into the fall, and you are listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports. I'm Spitface, and I'm here with the always classy and sometimes sassy host of this show, the First Lady of Sports Talk, the one and only Cheryl Smith. Good morning, Cheryl.
Good morning, Spitface. Good morning to everybody.
Ooh, I know you're excited. We got everything. We got football back. We got, just stuff happening. So check out the music this week on Shout Out. We are featuring performances from the Black Xperience Band, where they find their shining star, get the cold feel of the mute button. First Lady, we're ready. What you saying?
Each week we try to figure out what is going on in the sports world. Not the plays of the week, more like the players of the week. Are they trying to tell us something? So we ask, what you saying? Fly, little birdie, fly. Time keeps on slipping into the future. Time keeps on slipping into the future. So I want to fly like an eagle to the sea. Fly like an eagle, let the spirit carry me. I want to fly right into the future. The little birdie known as Max Kellerman is flying far away from First Take. Is Max leaving First Take a sign that Stephen A. Smith, only Stephen A. Smith, to debate sports on his show? Is Max leaving a sign that it is bye-bye birdie for Max at ESPN? Will Max end up hanging out with the other hosts of First Take who got the boot? Marvelous Marvin Hagler, Bernard Hopkins, Roy Jones Jr., and the Steve Miller Band are asking, what you saying? Well, I try to figure out who else got let go on First Take before. Skip decided to go to Fox. He received much more money. Now, I'll be honest with you, Spitface, when it was called Cold Pizza, I don't know if everybody remember, First Take is a rebranding. It was originally called Cold Pizza. I didn't really watch it back then. But anyway, I just think it's quite interesting, again, that these stories get leaked, and all these stories about ESPN moves and maneuvers are ending up in everybody's blogs. So, we're going to talk about Maria Taylor and Rachel Nichols later. ESPN is not really looking good. They have a lot of bad publicity, especially, like I said, after that Maria Taylor and Rachel Nichols debacle. Now the rumor has been circulating that First Take will be revamped. Is this going to feature Stephen A. versus several analysts? It has been rumored that, Stephen A. basically requested that Max leave. Now, these are the multiple reports reporting that, that Max will not leave ESPN, but he's going to go and work with Keyshawn Johnson and Jay Williams for that morning drive radio show. Now, Max Kellerman has his own radio show. Now, it's quite interesting because Max Kellerman was actually, I wouldn't say booted off, but yeah, he was booted off of New York FM. His ratings were so bad from New York FM that they put him on the AM dial. So, and so Max has been a little bit slipping with, trying to maintain an audience. So with Keyshawn Johnson and Jay Williams, hopefully he'll be better. We don't know when this is going to happen, but I noticed all week, haven't seen Stephen A. Smith, haven't even seen Max. So something is brewing. Something is brewing. I think he still have his boxing show too. So I'm looking at this. If the powers to be in ESPN didn't want Max to continue on, I really think they would have just outright let him go. But the fact that they're trying to place him in another situation tells me that he is not going to go into, I guess, what I call ESPN purgatory. It's like he can join. It's like when you still have a contract, they either buy you out and just let you sit on the shelf, like what they did to Jamil Hill. Michelle Beadle. You remember Michelle Beadle had a long-term contract, and she was a disaster when she was doing the NBA countdown, so they got rid of her. They kept her on payroll. They just didn't show her. But eventually they bought out her contract, and then she was ready to go. She was able to leave. Same thing with Michael Smith. Now, Michael Smith, he was Jamel Hill's running partner. You remember they had the ESPN at 6. I think people had a problem with them doing it. A lot of people said it was a racial issue. But anyway, who knows? ESPN, that franchise, Sports Center, the Sports Center franchise, that's what they were hosting, and that's a sacred franchise, and people complained about that. And, of course, Mike Golick, remember what happened to him? He was with Mike, and then Mike Greenberg decided that he wanted some more money. He wanted his own show. So anyway, ESPN has been through revamping shows before, but I'm going to tell you something. There seems to be a lot of issues with people in their workplace. I would keep an eye on this. Who knows if EEOC will start investigating upper management actions? Because, it seems like they just kick people to the curb. They got rid of a lot of journalists. They laid off a lot of people. But anyway, let's get back to Stephen A. Smith. To me, the root of, this is what they're saying the root of the problem, according to Stephen A. Smith. And they say he's been complaining about this. First Take is a debate show. Now, we do our show, we don't debate. We just talk about this subject. And I think what was happening for Stephen A. Smith, that it wasn't, the format of debate really wasn't happening as much as it should have. And he just did not it didn't work well enough for him, is what was being said. And it was nothing personal against Max Kellerman. And, now there's other rumors flying around that Stephen A. Smith wants his big three. He wants to have a show with Magic Johnson and Mike Wilborn as the co-host. Now, I don't know about Mike. Mike should stay on, what is it, Interrupted? I forgot the name of his show that he does with the other guy.
Interruption.
Pardon the interruption. Now, that's still a very well received ratings-wise, so I don't know, Mike, you want to come along with Stephen A. Because what's happening to Stephen A. Smith right now, because I don't know if First Take was very good with their ratings. So, they say lately the ratings have been tanking, and I'll be honest with you, all the ESPN shows have been tanking, but it's particularly for Stephen A. Smith, he's been targeted by a lot of different people on the blogs. We all know Kwame Brown has come out and said a lot of things about Stephen A. Smith, that he likes to tear down black men, and Kwame Brown was one of the people that he has, routinely has brought down as far as their basketball skills or whatever. It seems like he always wanted to tear down black men. That's what people are saying, and which I didn't realize that he would actually go on his college tour. He does a lot of speaking engagements in different colleges and things, and they said he would use Kwame Brown example as one of his talking points, which to me is kind of strange. Why would you talk to students about that situation? So I also think, this is my own personal belief when it comes to Max Kellerman. If you remember, Stephen A. took a different stance from most people when it came to Colin Kaepernick, and a lot of people came down hard on Stephen A. And I don't know if you remember, I watch ESPN, I watch First Take, so I like First Take. I don't know if you remember Spitface when I think Terrell Owen was on, and he was the guest, and he was saying, they started talking, and Terrell Owen said, Max almost seems blacker than you, Stephen A. And that really hit hard with Stephen A. He was very offended by it. And I think ever since that conversation regarding Max regarding Kaepernick and all that situation, how Max came out looking like he was the black man and taking the black people's side versus Stephen A. Smith. That didn't turn out too well with Stephen A. Smith. I think that's when he really started, to me, I think it became personal. That's just my opinion, because they have been saying, the rumor has been saying that Stephen A. wanted to replace Max a long time ago. So, I don't know. Stephen A. Smith, he is the face of ESPN now. He makes a lot of money. And it's interesting, when a black man makes a lot of money, everybody knows about it. Now, Mike Greenberg was the highest paid analyst on ESPN, and nobody knew about how much he was making until when Stephen A. Smith surpassed him. But that's just how life is all the time, I guess. But I like Stephen A. I think he's entertaining. You take some of the things he says with a grain of salt. I mean, he's like the shock jock, right? That's from a sports perspective. So I mean, Max is, I could do without Max. I mean, if they get people on there that really can debate. So we'll see how that goes. But I think ESPN is really a mess right now. They have a lot of personnel problems. That's what I'm saying. All right, Spitface, how do you feel about this situation?
As they say, what happens when you have success? And, Stephen A., ESPN, they just had tremendous success over the years. Really, really tremendous. I was thinking about how ESPN used to show, these different kind of sports that you were just not going to pay attention to. But they were like, put it on. We're trying to build a sports network. And I think that the main thing is that I do not think that there's a personal issue between Stephen A. and Max Kellerman. I do not. Now, that doesn't mean that they don't have days where they rub each other wrong, because you work with anybody, 5 days a week, doing anything, there going to be moments where y'all going to rub each other wrong. But I don't get that's how either one of them were playing it. But I do get that Stephen A. is all about them dollar bills, baby. Stephen A. say, look, our ratings are going down and you ain't helping us. Max, you gotta go. I gotta do something different, because I'm trying to make my money. It ain't personal. How they say, it ain't personal. It's business. And that's really what Stephen A. all about, the business. Now, I'm not particularly a fan of Stephen A. Smith, and it's really not. And it's not because different on issues. I'm just not too much in his style. Okay, Wilburn, I like Will. I'm more of a, but then I tend to be, more leaning toward the Wilburn types than the Stephen A. types. But I ain't hating on them. That just ain't my, particular, cup of tea. Everybody got their favorite artists. Everybody got their favorite announcers, columnists. He ain't one of mine, But he cool if you like him. Now, First Lady brought up some interesting points, that it just seems like ESPN is a mess. And I think the problem with ESPN is that they tried to settle into these little formulas for doing shows. And there's only, and when you formalize everything, there's a point where you start being boring. Because everybody knows. So what you start doing is you start trying to have hosts or guests on shows who, can bring some little life, a little juice or whatever. But when it starts being formalized, the show itself, starts just being mediocre no matter what you do, because everybody heard the same things. So ESPN might be going through this thing where they're going, a lot of fresh blood, a lot of, but I think that ESPN is lacking creativity. It really is lacking creativity. And, What Stephen A. Smith really needs is First Lady. See, he needs the First Lady. First Lady is debate with his ass. That's what he needs. He needs somebody that can sit up there and go, Stephen, you looking like a fool. And he kind of look like it, So that's what he needs. He needs First Lady to be on the show. Now she'll take care of him and the ratings will go up. But, I don't think he need a Will Barn. I don't think what he need is if it's not First Lady, he need a woman. He need to be debating a woman every day. And, in the sports world. Because, because it still looks like the good old boys club. And I think ESPN is missing something that, it ain't the good old, but times is a-changing. And while, it can be debated how ESPN is working with that as far as putting women in better positions and putting them in slots, So, I can't, it can be debated, but they've been doing it, because they've been doing it and say, look, we've been doing it, maybe not at the, it can be debated, should we be better? We probably should be. But I think they really, really seriously lack creativity. And, I think that they're looking at things, unfortunately, from the old white men's club. It's still about the old white men. And the audiences today, listeners today, even sports fans today are just super diverse. And taking folks and putting them in an old white man formula, but diverse folks, it'll work for a while, but they need some serious creativity. And I really think that they need to just get rid of the executive management and bring in some people with fresh ideas, fresh talent, willing to push some boundaries. Otherwise, we got the top personalities, but we still giving you the same old garbage. So, First Lady, and Max, I don't know, Max. I kind of like Max. He all right, but Max, I'm glad you made your checks, brother. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, well, they do got a women's show. I think it's First Take, Her Take. It's all women that's a radio show that they do provide. But I do agree with you, like you said, the point that you made about the lacking creativity, because from, you go from Get Up, then you get into First Take, and what is said on Get Up predominantly is repeated on First Take. So and then you get to Sports Center, and it's still repeated. So it's almost like CNN now. Did you remember?
Oh, man. Yeah, CNN, First Lady, you're right. That's the feel you get. Yeah,
it's like CNN, and that is... They do need some more creativity with their shows. And then another thing, Stephen A. Smith, he was quoted saying, when he wakes up in the morning, he thinks about making money for his bosses and how he can get that money. so that is on his mind.
My brother, dollar bill, baby.
It's all about his coins and bags. All right, Spitface, over to you.
Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years, rocking my peers and putting suckers in fear, making the tears rain down like a monsoon. Listen to the bass go boom. Explosion, overpowering, over the competition I'm towering. Wrecking shop when I drop these lyrics that'll make you call the cops. Don't you dare stare, you better move. Don't ever compare me to the rest that'll all get sliced and diced. Competition paying the prize. I'm gonna knock you out, huh? Mama said knock you out, huh? We are still talking about ESPN, but we're talking about the knockout punch to the reputation of ESPN due to their treatment of Rachel Nichols. The network said Wednesday that Miss Nichols would no longer report from the sidelines of NBA games, so weekday afternoon the show The Jump would also be canceled. The substance of her being kicked to the curb was that she complained Maria Taylor was promoted because she was black. in recording, Nicole said, if you need to give her more things to do because you are feeling pressure about your crappy long-time record on diversity, which, by the way, I know personally from the female side of it, like, go for it. Now, Nicole, she apologized. And after all was said and done, Maria left ESPN anyway because they wouldn't pay her what she thought she should get. It's just a case of two wrongs not making it right. Leroy Satchel Paige walked the buck letter that James School Papa Bear. I ask him what you say. First Lady, ESPN is a mess when it comes to women. I can't say when it comes to, like, specifically African Americans because, you got Stephen A. and you got a whole lot of other high-profile black personalities, so it's like, okay, y'all got them. What the hell y'all doing with them? But I think this is a case of a double wrongs, and it didn't do anything for anybody. Now, there are racist comments, and then there are comments that are not racist, but you might have wanted to phrase it a little differently. And, I'm looking at the quote. If you need to give her more things to do because you are feeling pressure about your crappy long-time record on diversity, which, by the way, I know personally from the female side of it, like, go for it. Now, if she is intimating that, look, you just did it because she's black. Well, I don't consider that racist given ESPN. I consider it more like, look, now, hey, we got to do, and we are speaking referring to women, got to jump through hoops, to get up. Now, I might have an advantage because I'm a, quote, white woman, but I'm still being treated like a woman. I'm still being treated second. I ain't saying that my black sisters are being treated any better, but come on, because we have seen the game called, you know what, I can hire this black man who's well qualified, got these skills. I can hire this woman, black or white, who's got all these skills. Well, I'm going to hire the woman because then I done took care of both of them. I done solved my diversity problem and still exclude. We done seen that. And and it can be the flip side. Well, hey, look, I don't want to get, the First Lady mentioned will EEOC get involved, but, you kind of wonder, because I wonder, people who got contracts, I got to go, maybe it's a different kind of world, because they got contracts to protect them where ordinary employees don't. But, you look at it, you go, well, what is ESPN trying to accomplish? What are they ultimately trying to accomplish? And supposedly what they're ultimately trying to accomplish is making some money. But at the same time, to make that money, they want to be able to draw in the type of audience and listeners where they make the money. And these, like I said, these old white men games, okay, all right, anybody want to call me a red? I ain't got nothing against old white men. It's just that, hey, can y'all move on so we can get some fresh stuff, spread the love around? But, it seems like these old shenanigans to, be inclusive without truly being inclusive. And, I'm looking at, here it is, Maria Taylor ended up leaving anyway because it was like, well, I ain't going to get what I was supposed to get or could get. And because another announcer is griping, doesn't mean that that other announcer is wrong. She had some valid points. So I don't think that Rachel should be punished because she expressed the view. But I do get that ESPN is going the wrong way about it. First Lady, what you say?
totally went the wrong way about it. Because you know what? This whole story took place not this year. It took place last year, the last year, when they were in the bubble, when they had the finals in the bubble. This is when this situation actually happened, because she was in the bubble in her apartment, and it was wired. I mean, it was a hot mic, I guess. She didn't turn something off or whatever. But that's how poorly ESPN handled this whole situation. They should have resolved that situation a long time ago. But what happened was, I'm going to tell the story the way that supposedly the story was told. When whoever was working the servers took it off of the servers, what she said, and they passed it out to all the African American employees. That's what happened. And somebody gave it to Maria Taylor. Now, the person who gave it to Maria Taylor, she acknowledged that she gave it to Maria Taylor. They had the nerve to suspend her. They didn't even. I'm like, wait a minute. Why not suspend the person who took the information off of the server? I don't know if they don't have a system that they could really find out who did that. But anyway, that's how this all got out, and they should have addressed it at that point. The reason why they felt compelled to address it as a knee-jerk reaction is because when it hit the New York Times, that's when they had to address it. Because supposedly when the whole incident took place, Maria Taylor refused to work with Rachel. That's why Rachel wasn't doing the sideline, because she refused to work with her. She did the sideline, but what it wasn't live. It was pre-recorded. Not the sideline, but her when she interviewed people, it was pre-recorded. So Maria Taylor insisted that she did not work with Rachel. But, I'm going to be honest with you, Spitface. I was very surprised Maria Taylor got that position. I'm going to be honest, and my reason why was because when I think about the NBA on ESPN, Maria Taylor's name doesn't even come into my first three people. I always think of Rachel Nichols. She did the jump. Okay, Ramona Shelburne. She's one of the analysts. She's an insider. Jackie McMullen, who just recently retired. And Malika Andrews, who's been doing the reporting. So when they said they gave it to Maria Taylor, I was very stunned because Maria Taylor predominantly did football. She did NFL. She did college football. She may have done some college basketball. But, when it came to the NBA, Maria Taylor wasn't even involved. Now, don't get me wrong. She's a very bright person. She's very attractive. She comes off knowledgeable. She actually did a very good job running the NBA Countdown show. And I think what it was in, supposedly Rachel Nichols said it was in her contract that she would be the host just for the finals. It wasn't that she was griping and complaining about being the NBA Countdown host in general. It was just for the finals. That was in her contract, supposedly. So when I say ESPN has messed this up all the way, if that was in her contract, they should have honored her contract. They're the one that put the thing in her contract. So that didn't even make sense to me.
You agreed to the terms.
That's right. You agreed to say
that you wrote.
Yeah, that's right. That you agreed to, right. Also, I forgot about Lisa Salters. Lisa Salters used to do the NBA sideline reporting, too. So anyway, that's why I said Maria Taylor doesn't come in mind. But there's been rumors to know who leaked this to the New York Times. Now, yes, Maria Taylor was, because like I said, it was a year later. Maria Taylor was involved in a contract dispute. Now, supposedly, they offered her $5 million last year when it was they were in the bubble. She felt that she should have been receiving Stephen A's money. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm all for people making money, but I'm sorry, Maria Taylor. If you were given offered $5 million, she should have taken that $5 million because that was a lot of money to me. And what happened was a year later, they only offered her $2 million. And that's when the whole thing, when she was in a dispute. But I don't understand why Maria Taylor thought she deserved Stephen A. Smith, because we don't turn on the TV to watch Maria Taylor. We do turn on the TV to watch Stephen A. Smith. And Stephen A. Smith has millions of followers. I don't think Maria Taylor has that many followers. Matter of fact, I think I looked up her Instagram or whatever, and she only had like 200 something thousand. I can't remember the exact amount. So, I mean, I don't know why she felt. And I'm a female. I believe we should make the money we want to make, but you need to be reasonable about things because you are only making $1 million and you're trying to get $8 to $10 million. I mean, it was bad. To me, it was good enough that they offer you $5 million when you were only making $1 million. And like you say, she left and she's with NBC. She started doing the Olympics coverage. I would love to know, because I haven't heard anything as to what she received from NBC Sports. It's very interesting to see, because I seriously doubt they offer her $5 million. But
I doubt that too, First Lady.
I really thought, $5 million, and you're going to turn down that. But anyway, getting back to Rachel Nichols, I really think she's getting a raw deal out of this whole situation. I don't know if it was, I don't know if these recent terms were mutually agreed upon. They're canceling the jump. Now, Rachel came out with statements. She said she that was something she was able to create. So I get the impression that show is owned by her. You know what I mean? Some people come and pitch shows, and I think she pitched the show to ESPN because why would they cancel it? I thought the ratings were good for The Jump. A lot of people watch The Jump, especially if you were an NBA fan, and the fact that they're canceling and they're going to rebrand it. It's like, for example, when Dan Levitar left. He had the show, oh gosh, I can't remember the name of the show, that he used to do with his father. Remember the show he used to do with his father?
Yeah, that was
They created that show for him. Yeah, they created, what'd you say? Spitface?
That was a funny show.
Yeah, they created that show for him, and guess what? When he left, and he left also, he's another one that left ESPN. Basically, they kicked him out, if you wanted to be honest with you. They kept that show going. So it gives me the impression that Rachel Nichols owns the rights to The Jump. So if she appears somewhere else, like I can see her going to TNT or NBA TV. I can see that being a show on NBA TV. So I really feel that she's getting a raw deal because she was frustrated. Because like I said, if it was in her contract, she was very frustrated. And keep in mind, they're holding her accountable for something she said that was illegally taken from their server. So like I said, ESPN has a lot of problems. I've had years working in health information management, maintaining people's confidentiality with their medical records. To be honest with you, they broke every darn rule regarding confidentiality. That was in her apartment. That was her phone, and they leaked that information. To me, the person who leaked that information originally should have been fired immediately, and they should have some system to be able to determine who leaked that information. So, like I said, there's a lot of issues with ESPN. I don't know. They're having a lot of problems. They're not handling things proactively. Like I said, this situation should have been handled last year, and if they handled it last year when it first appeared, I don't think we would have all these issues. Maybe Maria Taylor would have stayed on the show with them, and they could have worked out a situation that Rachel stayed on. But I guess they just felt now that they had to revamp the whole situation. Their show, their station right now is a darn mess. That's saying it lightly. That's just saying it. Like I said, they do need to see EEOC. Then EEOC needs to come in there and do an investigation. That's all I'm saying, Spitface.
All right. Well, First Lady, please take us to break.
Okay. Stay tuned. Coming up next, we'll have a performance from Black Xperience Band on Shout Out Part 1.
Free Rachel. Free Rachel. The music flows in from around the globe to get a shout out from the panel. First lady, I can't wait to hear the music from Black Xperience Band.
On Shout Out, we feature new independent artists who are looking to find their shining star. If we like what we hear, we'll give the track a shout out. If we don't like it, we hit the mute. Today we are featuring music from Black Xperience Band from Atlanta, GA. I was just there. I didn't hear them, but anyway, they say Sharper Curver Black Xperience Band have a super danceable and ballad sensational sound in light to all our fans. Okay. Every heart that cares about peace and love, our music is on a crusade against drugs, the evil that destroys our youth. The message in the band sounds can bring love and understanding of a reaffirmation of the great value that embodies each one of us. Wow, that's a lot. Okay, so this is a message band. All right, well, let's hear Girl, I Need You.
With you, my darling.
Nothing going on but the rent, my dear. Nothing but the rent. Hey, girl, why you wasting all my time with all your talking lies? Don't you know there are many slimming waiting in the wind?
Girl, what is his problem? I don't know, honey. I think he's sick in the head.
Come here.
Girl, come here.
Who is Mr. Credible talking to? He's sure not talking to me.
Yes, I am talking to you, my girl.
Girl, I'm out of here.
You know I love you. Girl, you're so true. Every time you're using me, say not true. Many guys you know blowing your mind. Play the game, wasting time, taking up your time.
What you mean to me?
Girl, I love you.
That's the way you tell me.
Girl, I need you.
Boy, you're gonna see.
Girl, I care for you.
That's the way you call me.
I want to stay with you. Tell me now. You don't care for me. Feeling the pain. Work hard for you all the time. 6 days a week. You're getting so cold. Always the same.
What you mean to me? That's the way you tell me. Boy, you're gonna see. That's the way you call me.
They tell me 3 ladies to 1 man. We can seek to find a way. One girl makes my day.
What you mean to me?
Girl, I love you.
That's the way you tell me.
Girl, I need you.
Boy, you're gonna see.
Girl, I want you.
That's the way you call me.
Like I told you, my skin. What you gonna do? Wasting all my time? That I'm not lying.
Baby, you know I'm for real with you.
So you say, my girl. So you say.
And wait a minute. Why are you trying to be so selfish with me? In my book, you're not as good looking as you think you are. Believe me, I know guys who just
Okay. All right. Okay, well, you know what, Spitface said. Hey, we got DizzieMac also for our panel discussion with this song. It started off not even the talking, but just the singing. He was all out of tune in the beginning of that song. Then he kind of got into the groove a little bit with his voice. So I'm going to do a yo on the song. I sort of, maybe I misunderstood some of the lyrics. I don't see how that's going to be helping people against drugs. I mean, I misunderstood what their messaging was there. I thought I was looking for a message song, and maybe I missed it with the lyrics. I don't know, but I'm gonna give it a yo. All right, DizzieMac, welcome. What are you gonna give that song?
Hey, thank you, First Lady. I know you giving them a yo, so I might as well just give them a no. Hey, I just did that, and I just say a no. Hell no. You know, he was all over, and I'm looking. It seemed like he was singing in the other direction. He was like, "Hey, don't do drugs," but his singing was making people do drugs.
All right, Spitface. I mean, it's a yo and a no. What do you got?
I'm gonna have to hit the mute button on it. One I'm looking at now. Look, the title of the song is "Girl, I Need You." Hell, the girl be running away listening to that song. If this is "Girl, I Need You," man, you'd have lost her, because she gone after hearing that song. So I'm not quite. I think it kind of reminded me of a '70s style song, but just not done very well. So I'm hitting the mute.
Okay. Well, on part 2 of Shout Out, we'll have another performance from Black Xperience Band, and hopefully they'll come up with something better than they did in part 1. All right. Speaking of somebody, this person, we consider this person to be somebody. He's everything. I'm talking about, is that the sound of my favorite underwater friend? It's time for Flip It.
All right. It's time for Flip It. And Flipper is so happy that hurricane went the other direction. But Flipper's kind of sad because Flipper don't want nothing to happen to New Orleans and everybody else. But Flipper is happy that it did not hit his neck of the woods. So I hear you, Flipper. Now, time for Flip It, where hosts defend a point and then flip the script and defend the opposing view. Jake Paul, YouTube sensation, is taking on Tyron Woodley, former MMA champion. Is this a real match or hype? Panel defend. Jake is looking for recognition from the boxing community, and Tyron is looking for redemption and a fresh start. This is the real deal. Now, they got they have 3 8-minute rounds. Jake Paul is 3-0. They knocked them all out. And Tyron Woodley was a former mixed martial arts champion. So he's been in there. And he kind of went out on kind of a sour note. Tyron lost the last 4 of his fights. So for him, this is a matter of, hey, I want to jump back in, get a few more paydays. And, this is a big deal for Tyron. And this is a big deal for Jake. This is not, we going to play pity pat. They go get in there, and Jake is going to be trying to knock Tyron out. He's bigger, younger, faster, and he want to knock Tyron out. But Tyron want to knock Jake out. So I think that this is going to be this is going to be a good old battle here. So we in for some entertainment. DizzieMac, defend.
Well, Spitface, it's going to go down like this. Jake Paul is trying to get into the boxing business. So he's going to make sure that whatever he has to do to hype it, sell it, he's going to do. But he's fighting a smaller man. But he's also fighting a smaller man that, hey, this time he's not going to be kicked. He's not going to have people trying to take him down to the mat. Now, maybe knock him down to the mat, yeah. He's got to defend against Fist coming at him, which in his last 4 bouts, he couldn't stop somebody sneezing on him. He's going to have to take them blows if he's going to be able to come out victorious. And he's looking at it as a fresh start because, again, hey, them kicks, them leg kicks and stuff, they hurt. Too. Somebody swelling up your leg, making it so you can't walk. But, yeah, everybody's looking at the money. They look at Money Mayweather and look at the money that he's going to be earning. And Jake Paul and Mr. Woodley want some of that money. He's like, hey, it's being thrown around. All we got to do is market it, do our best to hype it, and we'll have people coming in getting it on pay-per-view because the other champions ain't boxing nobody. They ain't even want to box themselves. So, hey, what else do we have to do? What else are we left with? Watching these clowns, bounce up and down, hold on to each other, mouths open, tired, breathing on each other, hanging on to each other. So, yeah, this is going to be the test to see who's got the most showmanship in them. Fresh start, recognition, or is it all just a premonition?
All right. Okay. All right. First Lady, defend.
Well, obviously, this is a big deal for both these fighters. I mean, Jake Paul pretty much has been very calculating with how he picks his opponents, He looks at things that's going to make him look good. He gets opponents that, he's pretty much sure that he can beat. So this is going to be interesting because Tyron Woodley, he, like you said, Spitface, he's lost several fights, so he really needs to come back if he wants to have another big payday. And Jake Paul has the followers, so the fight will, I'm pretty sure it's sold out, and it's going to be watching, and people are going to be watching on pay-per-view. And, Jake Paul, this is a name for him. If he can win a fight over Tyron Woodley, people will start taking him very seriously. I mean, this is a former MMA champion. I know he also fought Ben Askren, who was an MMA champion also. But this is a big deal for both of them because Tyron Woodley, he definitely does not want to lose to a YouTuber. I mean, even though Jake Paul is starting to prove himself that he can box, I mean, this is a big deal for both of them because if Jake Paul wins this fight, people really will start taking him very seriously about his boxing. And, I mean, because then he'll be 4-0. and he's fought several different types of boxers. So, he has good range and things. He's still young. He's 24 years old. So it'll be interesting because from my understanding, Floyd Mayweather is help training Tyron Woodley, right? That's what I think I read that, was happening. So, hopefully Woodley won't underestimate the way Mayweather underestimated Logan Paul. But, I really think this fight, I really think it's going to be a good fight. So I don't consider this to be a fake fight. I consider this fight to be the real deal because you got two people in that ring that wants to prove themselves. Willie, he can't lose to Jake Paul because if he loses to Jake Paul, you might as well say his career is over. That's how I look at it. Now, Jake Paul is taller than Woodley, but let's face it, Woodley is the MMA champion, so he has the tools to put Jake Paul on his back, and you will see how it goes. But like I said, Jake Paul, he strategically picks fighters to improve his overall performance, his overall cachet, I guess, to make people believe that he really is a top-notch fighter. So this will be interesting. I'll definitely be watching. Not paying for it, but I'll be watching.
All right, it's time for, we flip the script and defend the opposing view. Jake Paul has fought 3 contenders who were retired and over the hill, and he's fighting another retiree. Even if he wins, he is Jake the Fake. This thing about, what's interesting to a little point is that these YouTubers have learned how to generate an audience, a following, and generate enough where people in the boxing and in the fighting world have to pay attention because they're a draw, because this is all about the money. Now, any other boxer athlete who had fought 3 retirees, folks who done came out of retirement, even Woodley ain't fought in. How old is Woodley? 59? So I'm going to fight somebody that's 15 years older than me. And First Lady made a point. He's real strategic. Let me pick people who the odds are, because they've been retired, they ain't been fighting, then I'm going to win. And, I think Money Mayweather really disgraced boxing with that fight. He really did. Because here you are, a world champion, multiple titles, dude. And you gave this YouTuber way more respect than he deserved. But it's a money thing. If you can draw the followers so we can see the money, well, we're going to buy because it's a money thing. It ain't about the, I'm going, where is pride in your sport? You gonna come from, your sport. Do you have pride in your sport, or is it just the money? And I guess for some, look, it's just the money. But I looked at it. If Jake wins the fight, he wins it. He knock out Tyrone. He is still Jake the Fake. Why? Because he did not go up against real boxing competition that's in the ring, that's fighting regularly, and they ain't fighting retirees. They fighting others that's in their age group dominating. But this YouTube glorification is all a bunch of crap. It's all a bunch of crap, and I cannot wait. And this is the thing where they're gonna get over. Jake Paul is gonna probably fight another couple of over the hill folks, build that reputation up because they were big names, and then get a big money fight with one of the guys in boxing who's doing something and get his butt whipped. So I say Jake is a fake. DizzieMac, defend.
Well, Jake the Flake is, fighting over-hill contenders. Or I should say over-hill pretenders. They just making money. And, hey, Tyron Woodley is just another of his retiree of the month club opponents. Hey, what else can he do? But hey, he's found the niche. People want to buy it. People want to get it and see him slaving away with some of these fakes. Again, that's why he's called Jake the Flake. Jake the Fake. Jake I can't take, but money I can make. So he's gonna get it. And hey, what else can you do if they keep letting them come out and produce this mess? Hey, he's got to take the money and run. He might as well. But hey, I'm not gonna watch it.
All right, First Lady, please defend.
Okay, well, is it time to take this boxer Jake seriously? I don't think so, because like I said, he does strategically pick people that he feels that he can beat. And Woodley, I mean, come on now, he's 39 years old. He really hasn't even trained to box. I mean, Jake, even though, like I said, he picks people that he can beat, he does train on routinely to box. Now, Tyron Woodley hasn't trained to box. So that's the reason why, again, to me, Jake and that whole Paul family, they're fakers. I mean, because they need to go up against somebody that really wants to box them. That's how I look at it. And his brother didn't do it against Mayweather. And Mayweather, all he was worrying about was making money. And that's the same thing Jake is doing. Like I said, there's a big following, and he's seriously thinking about seriously in his training, but he's not picking the caliber of opponents that really would, to me, provide the cachet that he needs to make people believe he really is serious about his fighting. He's serious when he trains, but he's not serious when he gets in the match with these over-the-hill people. I mean, 39-year-old Willie and Jake is 24 years old. He's not ready. When was the last time he fought? I'm trying to see when his last time he's fight. Okay, he did. Although he did. I think he fought in March. So, but he lost terribly. He was flattened in the first round. So, I mean, this is the situation that we're dealing with these Pauls. I just think they're making a mockery out of boxing right now. And it's interesting because boxing, was obviously a great one-on-one sport. But right now, to me, it's a mockery. And like you said, Spitface, Mayweather has done it when he took on Logan Paul. And Jake Paul, again, he's not fighting the people that really state that really would show that he has competent competition. Because what we're getting now is a farce. And Jake is the fake.
Jake is the fake. So Jake has proven that, hey, get you a big YouTube following and you'll be able to get an ex-champion who's been retired to fight you, and hey, I defeated Money Mayweather, or I got a draw with me, but First Lady, please take us to break.
Stay tuned. Up next, the funnies and our favorite underwater friend on Flip It Part 2.
Free Mr. Vine.
In a hurry.
Welcome back. You are still listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports. It's time for the funnies. Spitface, over to you.
All right, the funnies. Okay. First lady, I might want to see this guy box Jake the Fake. Florida man tries to throw alligator onto roof to teach us a lesson. A Florida man is in custody for allegedly trying to throw a live alligator onto the roof of a building. William Hodge, 32, was arrested around 3 a.m. Thursday and charged with possessing and injuring an alligator. Burglary of an unoccupied dwelling, criminal mischief, and petty theft, according to the docket of his court case. Hodge allegedly hopped the fence of Congo River Golf, a miniature golf course in the area, and stole a live alligator from an enclosure on the course. He then allegedly took the alligator to the Mets Lounges, a bar and liquor store, grabbed it by the tail and tried to throw it onto the roof. After only hitting the awning of the bar, he took it by the tail again, put it over his shoulder, threw it to the ground, and stomped on it twice, police said. When officers made contact with Hodge, he put the creature down and raised his hand, surrendering to police. Billy transported Hodge to the city's Division of Public Safety. While in the holding cell, Hodge allegedly balled up toilet paper and clogged the cell's toilet and drain in an attempt to flood the station. Hodge was taken to Volusia County Jail after his process, where he remained Friday. Police contacted George King, the owner of Congo River Golf, who came to pick up the alligator from the station. The alligator is worth $300, King said. First Lady DizzieMac, just go and mess with the alligator in its own enclosed location. I hope they throw the book at it. But gosh darn, the water is splashing everywhere. It ain't an alligator. It must be time for our favorite underwater friend. It's time for Flip It. First Lady, over to you.
The Houston Texans and Deshaun Watson know that at some point it's bye-bye. The question is, which team will make the deal? The Texans want 3 first-round draft choices and 2 second-round picks. Reports have it that Miami is considering making the deal. Panel defend. Miami would be crazy not to get Deshaun, even with the issues. All right, Spitface defend.
You know what? Miami has really put together a nice little team. They got the offensive line straightened out. Their defense is coming up. They got they got everything Deshaun don't have with the Texans. So Deshaun could throw that ball. Deshaun, was like the number 3 rated quarterback on a sorry Houston Texans team. So for Miami to get Deshaun, and they ain't got to deal with Tom Brady playing for the Patriots, Miami could start challenging again. And so right now, you got a shot to get a premier quarterback who can lead your franchise for the next 10, 12 years and put you on track to win a Super Bowl. You got the picks. That's the thing. Miami can give up. Miami has built well, so they can work out a deal. And Deshaun has his off-field issues. He had, things going on, but it's worth rolling the dice. They'd be crazy not to do that.
It's worth rolling the dice. All right. The gambler man. All right. DizzieMac, defend.
Hey, I know how it is getting down on one knee, shaking and rolling. The Dolphins. That's a mighty, mighty big offer. You're going to take on somebody who could be going to jail? Hey, I don't know. I mean, that's Miami. You know, Brian Flores will be on a fast track so fast out of South Beach. His head would be spinning. No. You know, I mean, I know he's not the only one making that deal, but he's probably looking at it like, hey, y'all going to sacrifice me basically for making the deal because, you know, he's not going to play. He's not going to play without being suspended, maybe even doing some jail time if, you know, things go the wrong way for him. 3 first-round draft choices, 2 second-round. Hey, you might as well just take a knife and slit your wrist. That's a lot. That's a lot. You know, I know he's, you know, on the trading block, but hey, Miami would be crazy. You know, and they looking ahead. We need to get them because they're not convinced about Tua. They're not convinced. They are not drinking the Hawaiian Punch Kool-Aid. Hey, we may have to wait because we know what Watson can do. You know, a couple of years off or something may preserve his body, but we know what he can do. So let's go ahead and just make the deal because we know what we're getting. We're getting another bad boy down at South Beach. Hang out with the big boss, Rick Ross.
All right, hanging out with Rick Ross. Well, you know, to me, I think if Miami goes along with this trade, I think it's a win-win because, yeah, Tua is there, but let's face it, Tua is still a rookie. He has that hip issue, and obviously there's still some concerns about Tua that the Miami Dolphins would even entertain trading for Deshaun Watson because you know, Brian Flores, he wants Deshaun Watson, and like you said, Spitface, this team is a quarterback away from getting into the Super Bowl because they are good on offense, they have weapons, they have the defense is just stellar. The Dolphins' defense was stellar. You know, they still got some concerns with their offensive line, but it is improving. I don't think it's still up there where it needs to be, but, you know, with Deshaun Watson, you know, he can scramble, and I'm quite sure it's a lot better than Houston Texans' offensive line. We know that. So just giving Deshaun Watson some protection would be better than what he had. So, you know, when the story broke about Deshaun wanting to be traded, everybody knew he wanted to go to the Dolphins. As a matter of fact, if you remember, he had a meeting with several of the Dolphin players in South Beach. So this is not new, and it's something about Tua that just doesn't rub right with Flores. They feel they have a better shot of winning with Watson, and you know, I'm looking at it this way: if he was going to be suspended right now, he would have been suspended. You know, I mean, right now they haven't even put him on that list yet. The list, I forgot what that list is called, but you know that bad list when they're investigating you. And,
you mean the dean's list?
The commissioner's list. Is that what it's called? The commissioner's list? for being in trouble, that list. So, you know, this whole situation with Deshaun Watson is rather interesting because recently, if I'm not mistaken, a grand jury, or they was looking into the prosecutor was looking into the what's it called, the one of the therapists was trying to blackmail him, and so they were looking into that particular case against her. Nothing, you know, they're still investigating Deshaun Watson, but I'm not sure if things are going to be able to stick. So Miami have to have some intel about this situation that they'd be willing to give up their draft picks. Now, obviously, what Houston is requesting is just a little bit too much. So the Dolphins will be able to dwindle it down. So if they can keep Tua in this situation, because if I'm Houston, I'm asking for Tua. But we'll see if the Dolphins give up Tua. But if they can keep Tua and Deshaun, then I would go, that's a great trade for Miami Dolphins. Great trade for Miami Dolphins. That's all I'm saying. So anyway, this is Flip It, where we have to flip the opposing result from our first argument. All right, panel defend. Miami would be crazy to get Deshaun, especially with the legal issues and draft picks. All right, DizzieMac defend.
Oh, yes. Miami would be crazy not to get Deshaun Watson, especially with the legal issues. They're gonna wrangle and get him the least amount of punishment that they can. So if they can get him, they have a quarterback. Tua is a young placeholder. He can be in there getting, reps and getting beat up and hold down the fort. So Watson is ready. Pull the trigger, Miami. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Don't be scared, Flipper. Go ahead and get the Dolphins top flight quarterback. I'm not talking about top flight security. I'm talking about the top flight quarterback. No, you don't want Ice Cube and Mike Epps as quarterback. You want Deshaun Watson and Tua. Yeah, they would be crazy if they don't pull the trigger on this deal. Because you can always mine for talent, come up with veterans who are better than draft picks, especially, with the way the talent pool is out there. You got talent that's lifting weights or playing on other teams, buried on the depth chart. Pull that trigger. Don't be scared.
All right. So don't be scared. They should be scared because Spitface, Miami would be crazy to get Deshaun Watson. Defend.
First off, I'm gonna tell you, I was a Deshaun Watson fan, being here in Houston, and my whole thing was, man, I sure wish the Bears had got him. And you know what? The Bears really, I think that would have been a much better situation for Deshaun. And because one thing is that in Chicago, see, they ain't got all the massage parlors like they do here in Houston. Not saying they don't have masseuses, but they ain't got a whole bunch of them. For him to have gotten into trouble. It's like a whole different atmosphere up in the Windy City. So I think if he had been part of the Bears, I'll just say he might not have gotten into all this legal stuff. But given that he has all this legal stuff, and given that you got to give up 5 top draft choices, that's what they're asking for, you would be crazy to get Deshaun. And part of my reasoning is this. I've noticed that in the NFL, that if a player gets in trouble, at one team, not the ordinary player, I mean the superstar players get in trouble, and they demand the leaves, and the team goes, okay, let's make the trail, let them go. The team that they go to, it's like a reward for bad behavior. Because you did all this off-field stuff and all this other things, you know what? We're going to reward you by giving you the team of your choice. That would be a nightmare for Miami. Because can you imagine Deshaun Watson going to Miami knowing that, hey, you know what? I was able to pick the team I wanted to go to. I had trouble at Houston. I didn't like how the coach went. I didn't like this and that and the trades that were made. And, I want out of here after y'all done gave me the second largest contract behind a Super Bowl winner, my homies. Now, you go bring that person with that kind of attitude to your team that you've been building up carefully. Now, now is Deshaun a better quarterback than Tua? Oh, hell to the yeah. But here's the thing. One, why pick up Deshaun now? Where he going to go? Because obviously the last team standing is Miami. So to me, Miami is in the better bargaining position. And even if they say, we ain't going to do nothing, we're going to just see how things go with Tua this year. And look ahead to next year's draft and see what's coming out. Because, since we kind of got a few extra draft picks, thanks to the Texans, we might be able to work out. We may go, you know what? We don't want Deshaun. But right now, to jump on Deshaun would be crazy. Don't do anything. Don't do anything. Because if you're willing to give up 3 first-round draft choices and 2 second-rounders to get Deshaun, I would wait this season out and just see what Deshaun, because you might be able to lessen that deal. What are the Texans going to do? What's Deshaun going to do? But you asking for trouble, bringing Deshaun on your team under his terms when you got a whole team. Yeah, I'm sure the team, oh, man, if we can get Deshaun. But, as they say, be careful for what you ask for. You might just get it. That's all I'm saying, First Lady.
Okay, would you say be careful for what you ask for? Well, anyway, Miami to me would be fools for getting Deshaun Watson. And a couple of reasons why they would be fools. Number one, there's a whole bunch of massage parlors in South Florida. That's number one. Obviously, he has an issue. Now, whether he did what he was supposed to do, but how many damn massages do you need in a given year? So that would be number one concern. Number two concerns, do you want to give up all those draft picks? Now, granted, Houston's going to ask for the moon, and the only thing you're going to do is give them some stars. So I'm quite sure Miami's not that crazy to give up all them draft picks. And the other thing is, what are you doing to the psyche of Tua? First, last year you pulled them out, and you started with Fitzpatrick. And then, of course, when the Dolphins were winning with Fitzpatrick, you bench Fitzpatrick, and then you put Tua out there, and half the team was upset with that decision because they thought they were winning with Fitzpatrick. So why you keep the team, for some reason, they have Tua on a yo-yo. I don't understand what's going on. I live here in South Florida, and as a matter of fact, I've been here 20-something, almost 22 years, and I've decided this year to get Dolphin season tickets because I'm getting rid of my Heat season tickets. I don't feel the heat anymore, so I'm gonna swing over to the Dolphin side.
Oh well.
Yeah, well, it's less games. It's too many games in the NBA, and I wasn't going. So I'm becoming a Dolphin fan, and now you treating Tua like he's a stepchild. So I don't understand what the Dolphins are doing, and they would be crazy. Build his confidence up. Let him know that he is your number one quarterback. Obviously, you're not, because you're thinking about getting Deshaun Watson, but why would you get rid of all of those draft picks? You've done a wonderful job of building through the draft, building with free agents. You have a team. Let Tua be your quarterback for the future, not Deshaun Watson, because you want to know something? You don't know what Deshaun Watson's future is going to be. At least you know what Tua's future is. Deshaun Watson could be in jail as far as we can tell, especially if any of those cases come to fruition. So, I mean, this is crazy. I mean, I don't understand it myself, but them Dolphins, hey, stay away from Deshaun Watson. No way. All right, Spitface, over to you. Take us to break.
All right, on the other side of the break, we have another performance from Black Xperience Band. Hope they do better on Shout Out Part 2. Please, 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 please stay tuned.
Red-headed stepchild.
You are listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports. It's time for Shout Out Part 2, the picks and the finale. The music flows from around the globe to get a shout out from the crew. Spitface, over to you.
Aha! We have another performance from Black Xperience. Now, First Lady Dizzy, the name of this track is Searching for Love. I'm really hoping that the search is worth it.
Wasn't that a Bobby Womack song, Searching for Love? For some reason, I think Bobby Womack sang that song. I'm looking for love, whatever.
What my luck is really on here. May not find you, baby. Trying to tilt away of time. No a good situation. Got to find no matter what, yeah. Got to keep on looking, baby. Searching day by day. Hey, Cheryl.
Every day, searching. Every day, searching for your love. Every day, searching. Every day, searching for your love.
I really believe in myself. How I really feel, yeah. No, I cannot qualify you unless you feel the same way. Our love could be so strong. Got to find no matter what, yeah. Got to keep on dropping, baby. Searching day by day. Hey, Cheryl.
Every day, searching. Every day, searching for your love. Every day, searching. Every day, searching for your love.
So the time is right. How I really feel, yeah. You know I'm coming halfway. The way I really feel, baby, is how I really feel. Girl, what I can see in you.
Every day, searching. Every day, searching for your love. Every day, searching. Every day, searching for your love.
Pretty lady, searching every day. Go ahead, make my day. The future is now. So brothers and sisters, you ready River, I'm here. New York, never fear. Daytona Beach, Florida, always near. LA, I'm here to stay. Black and white, brown and yellow, all the USA, even Japan. Such an opportunity.
Ah, yes, music to fall asleep on. I mean, that was Searching for Love. First Lady DizzieMac. I'm hitting the mute button. I was hesitant about hitting the mute button because I really was looking for the snooze button. Because that song did nothing but put me to sleep. I had to take a shot of coffee doing the performance. And mute button. DizzieMac, what's the verdict?
Hey, you know what? I like this song better than the first one. At least they kind of had that old 80s Jets music, you know, the Jets, the group. But I'm going to give it a yo. They tried their best, but they had to settle for less.
Okay. They got a yo. First Lady, what's the verdict?
Well, like DizzieMac said, they getting a no from me. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm hitting the mute button. Oh, no. I didn't even like that song. There was nothing spectacular about it.
You know, and I'm like, for you lovers in the house, neither of those songs was going to help you get the girl. None of them. Okay. That is the end of Shout Out. Now, if you like what you heard from Black Xperience Band, check them out on Old Grumpy Radio. Now, if you'd like to be heard or have any comments, please send your emails and tracks to content@oldgrumpyradio.com. First Lady, back to you.
All right, it's time for the hardwood picks. Who won the hardwood crown? The NFL picks are coming. Well, unfortunately, with travel and the production staff just couldn't get everything together. There's really no excuse because we've had a long break, so they should have had things together. But you know, when the mice when the mice away, the cat will play.
When the cat's away, the mice.
I mean, when the cat will play, the mice will play. I got that backwards. When the cat's away, the mice will play. That's what happened with the production crew. They was playing around because I was away. All right, let's go to the top story to watch this week. Spitface, what is your top story to watch this week?
The top story is going to be, because the NFL's got to make a decision on Deshaun Watson. That will be the top story of the week.
All right.
They got to do something.
Yeah. DizzieMac, what is your top story of the week?
My top story of the week will be Justin Fields will be named starting quarterback of the Chicago Bears.
Justin.
Justin Fields?
Yeah.
I thought they already named what's his name, quarterback.
That's why he said that'd be the news of the week.
Okay. Okay. Well, my news of the week is, because football starts when? This Sunday or next Sunday? Next
Sunday. Football kicks off on the 12th.
The 12th. Yeah,
right.
okay.
Well, actually, doesn't it kick off on the Thursday? So that would be the 9th.
Okay, yeah, that's right. So anyway, I'm still considering this COVID policy that the NFL has, implemented. I still think there's going to be some major issues with teams probably having to forfeit. I'm still unsure if the NFL is really going to be able to apply this policy. That's what I still think is a big issue and is a big problem, especially as the Delta variant becomes more prevalent. So that's my big story of the week. Now, I wanted to talk about, this is like an unknown thing in the NBA. I want to bring up the person. Her name is, what's her name? I apologize. Her name is Harris. I'm sorry. I had this. My computer just went off. Anyway, her name. She was the first person drafted. Lucilla Harris. That's her name. She was the first person drafted, first female drafted in the NBA. She was drafted in the 7th round. This is when, in 1977, this is when the NBA had so many rounds. I think they had 8 rounds or 7 rounds. But she was drafted by the New Orleans Jazz, and it was the 137th pick overall. And she actually became the second woman drafted because another woman by the name of Denise Long was selected in 1969 by the San Francisco Warriors. However, the league voided the Warriors selection, and that's why Harris became the only woman to be drafted. She never joined or tried out for the New Orleans Jazz because she actually never wanted to play with men. I guess they just thought that she was a great basketball player, and they decided to draft her. So I think that's just like a little known fact that we need to bring to our attention. And her name is Lucilla Harris. All right, shout out to Veterans Women's Enterprise Center on our partners in empowering our women warriors fighting the business battle. Visit them at veteranwomen'sec.org, veteranwomen'sec.org, and that's without an apostrophe. We have upgraded our new website, Bras, Panties, and Sports.com, to service you better. All right. This has been Cheryl Smith, the First Lady of Sports Talk, Spitface, and we welcome back DizzieMac. You have been listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports. See you next week.